Hi everybody. Today I'd like to introduce you to Ashley. She's going to be helping me to teach you a little bit of more advanced form, balance, and movement. So hopefully you've studied the previous videos and you have yourself to a pretty close to intermediate degree in your dancing, and now we're going to move on from there. So to start, now when we do our basic, okay, and we're just dancing, and when we first start, if you remember from before, we relax our knees a little bit and we slant a little bit forward. We angle, we create a break in here, okay? So we go 1, 2, 3. That's it. And we keep that. So the thing we're trying to do, there's two things that happen. When we lean slightly forward, it creates a break in here, which is where most of your dancing comes from. If you're standing straight up and down, you're not dancing, you're walking. It's very stiff, it's like a pole, okay? And only our feet move, which is about 2% of our dancing, so you're missing 98% of your dancing. If you create this break, it connects your, as a matter of fact, we're going to exaggerate. Would you exaggerate that, Ashley? And bum, bum. See right here. Now we're exaggerating so you can see it, because remember, this is the secrets of excellent dancers, and this is what they're doing. We want to exaggerate so you can see it. So when we step here, 1, 2, 3, stop, okay? There's actually a relationship that comes from this leg here up into the rib cage. So there's a triangle right here. Here's the base of the triangle going from thigh to rib cage, and here's the top of the triangle. And that's your rhythm triangle, and that stays there almost 100% of the time to create dance, to create movement to music. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, stop. Now right here, now the other good thing that does, if we have this break here in the pelvic area, our back is straight. Now remember this, now this is important too, okay? Do not hunch or do not sway. The back is very straight, but it's at a little bit of an angle. So instead of being up like this, it's like that. That's dance posture. It's rhythm posture. It's not ballet posture. This is very different than ballet. Now that also puts her sternum or her chest plate over her front knee and front foot. And that's where we stay for center, for balance through the whole dance. So that's nice. We stay locked in. We're going to exaggerate a little bit. We're going to lean a lot, create a real big break in here, and go 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So you notice wherever our knees go, our center goes. They go together. Actually, I said that backwards. Wherever our center goes, our knee goes, because our legs are supposed to be dancing underneath us. Now this is very different from the way we teach. We teach by the pattern method, which is the easiest method to learn by, but it's not a real good dance method because we think of our feet first. And actually, what dancing is supposed to be is a rhythm. Let's do a rhythm in place, Ashley. And 1, 2, 3, that's salsa. Everything else, that's all she has to do. Then I just indicate to her to go in a direction, right, and we go out, okay? So that is done in place. We get that nice rhythm going inside our body, and then we just play with it. So we're here. 1, 2, 3. Good. Boom. Now also, when we're doing a little more advanced level, we don't really come together for our basic. We don't do 1, 2 together, 1, 2 together. We sort of pass that foot a little bit. 1, 2, slightly forward and slightly back. 5, 6, slightly forward, slightly back. So we just pass the foot a little bit. Makes for a little smoother movement. There you go. And also later on it's going to help when we do cross bodies and things from each side, from my right side, from the left side, and things like that. So we're here, okay? So in that posture, now we want to take that apart to understand it a whole lot. And I have some exercises that can help you feel what we're talking about. And that's what we're trying to do. It's a hard thing to do, is to take this feeling that we have inside and give it to somebody. So what we try and do is give you certain exercises that help you feel that, and one day it'll click in your head and you'll say, okay, I got my center, I have my rhythm, you know, I'm a dancer. That's what will happen. So now what happens here, let's do 1, 2, 3, and just stop right here, Ashley. Good, very good, okay. Now lean forward just a little bit more, that's it. Now remember, keep the back very straight. So what I was talking about, just stay there a second. So we're not straight up and down because that creates a sway in the back. And it makes our top real stiff, okay? And we also don't hunch. So what we want to do is keep our back straight. And you remember how to create that, okay? Here, just stand there a second, Ashley, together. Okay, right. So remember, just review for our posture, our shoulders come just slightly forward. We're trying to relax our body. If our shoulders are back, we're too stiff and we're off balance. And we don't do it a whole lot because we don't want to hunch. So we bring our shoulders forward a little bit. That pops our elbows out in front of us, and this is good for balance also. Okay, then also take one step forward. Boom. Okay, here. Now when we do that, we can take our chest plate and push it down a little bit. We relax, right. So she's pushing her chest plate down towards the floor a little bit. This connects your top to the floor, which is a good thing. Now when we do that, we also take the bottom two rib bones and push them back a little bit, and that gets rid of the sway in the back. And we tuck our seat under a little bit, and it helps keep that nice straight back. So you see how that works. That's our posture. That's what we had mentioned before. So if you have that, you're ready to move on. But we wanted to stress that you always keep a straight back. It's at a slant, but it's very straight. It's not arched, it's not hunched. Okay? So then, moving on from there, what you want to feel is 1, 2, 3, 5, right here. Now there's like a wall up here. What she has connected, okay, is her chest plate is going down through her knee, through the ball of her foot. Same thing with him. So when we're dancing, when we move, one, those three always move together, okay? Together. Back and together, or forward, wherever. See that? They move together. So they're not stiff, but they're lined up. That keeps you very well centered. Now what this means, okay, is when we go forward, okay, face this way, Ashley, okay, and we go forward, that means your center and your knee go at the same time. Then we return here. But when we do the back rock, here's a good exercise to get the feel for this. Don't go back to the foot and forward. That takes too much time. We want to have less of this forward and back movement. When we teach that in class, it's to get people who have no dancing to be able to do something. So we tell them to go back and forth, because that's easy. It's lousy dancing, but at least it gets a start. Then we say, okay, a little bit smaller, you know. Then we say, okay, in place, and we have a rhythm going, okay? So we have to balance out that back and forth with also a little bit of a vertical movement, which we'll talk about later. But for right now, we're 1, 2, 3. Now, to feel this, what we're going to do is when we do our back rock, we're going to keep our center over our front knee. So we're just going to do it like this for a second. Okay, now, keep this here. Don't go back and forth. Okay? When we go back on a back rock, it's just the ball of the foot. Let's do back rocks, Ashley. Back and together. Back. See that? Back. So we keep our center over our front knee. This gets very efficient, very good look, and it contributes a lot to your balance. So when we're dancing, everything we do is ball flat. Ball flat, ball flat, ball flat, except the back rock. Because we're changing directions, okay, we only hit a ball and come back to that flat foot right there. So we don't go back flat here because it rocks us back and forth. Throws our balance off, and it's hard to keep up with the music. So if we're dancing it, Ashley will do it first. Her front will stay forward. Even when I come into her, she'll just keep her center, then I keep my center. So even though she's coming into me, I don't go. And there's a misconception that the bodies are supposed to move together, and that's not true. The bodies breathe in and out. They don't stay locked. That's still too rigid. We want a lot of looseness, freedom, softness, relaxation in dancing. Dancing is just totally relaxed. So she doesn't go back, I go into her, I don't go back, she comes into me. See that? Boom. She comes into me, and that's how we dance. And this way we have that breathing between the two bodies, nice and relaxed. And so when we keep our posture, if we do get close, our chest plates are the closest part to our partner. And that's where we get, if we're in closed position, that's where we get a little bit more intimacy. So I can go into her, I just stay here, she comes into me. Now we have this nice breathing going on between our bodies, okay? So take those and practice that, and then we'll go on to the next section. Okay, so we're back, and we're going to continue with that posture, center, and movement. So we were talking about what happens. Take a step forward, Ashley. Thank you. Okay, good. So on here, if you remember, we talked about the chest plate and the sternum being lined up with the knee, over the ball. Okay, so that should always feel like that's lined up. That'll give you really, really good balance for turns and everything like that, which we'll talk about later. Okay, let's take that step again. Now, let's talk about the back foot. Now, in salsa, we use a rhythm posture. We don't use a walking posture. We don't use a ballet posture. Ballet is a nice posture if you're trying to create lines and things like that, and extensions and things, but it's not very rhythmical. We want to create a rhythm posture which is slightly different. If we're doing one of the other disciplines, okay, go ahead, step forward. If we step forward, our line, okay, and our spine follows the line of our standing leg, okay? In rhythm posture, we don't do that. To create a rhythm, we follow the line of our back leg. Okay, take a step forward and hold it. So, right here, okay, what we try and do is take our spine and follow the line of our back leg. So if we straighten our leg, that's how it would be. Exactly. Good. Come a little more forward. Good. There you go. See that? It's a very positive stance that puts us very close here in the chest plate. Okay, see that? So you want to try and follow the angle of your back leg. So if we did those back rocks, go ahead, just rock back. Back, boom. Then that's the exercise we gave you last time where we just kept this here. So if you notice, okay, we have a nice angle. Now, of course, we're exaggerating. We're doing a big angle so that you can see what the really good dancers are doing inside. Now, later on, we don't have the angle as much. We come out of it, but it's still there. It has to be there to create some rhythm here and posture. Okay, so we put our foot back, and there we are. So what that means, so that you have it just right. Good, do that again. Okay, good, do that again, good. Angle forward, good, okay. Now what that means, her center is coming right down here through the floor. That means her chest plate and her head are in front of her center. Her seat and her leg and her foot are behind the center. And that's how you should dance. So we don't dance straight up and down. That's too stiff and off balance, okay? So we dance like this. Okay, we're at that angle. And here's our foot. It's straight down here. That's our standing leg is right there. So now when we move back and forth this way. We don't stand up or we don't waver. We don't go like this. We don't go like that. We go back and forth with that posture locked in place. So if we're doing basic, boom, we both have our angle. Here, see, I just put my foot back. So I still have my angle into her. She came forward. Okay, now here, she just puts her foot back, so she keeps her angle and I go into her. So it's a very positive stance. It's very powerful and very balanced. And you just keep it. And yes, it's going to feel very weird at first because you've never done this in your life. All we've ever done is walk, stand up straight, sit up straight, throw our shoulders back. You know, they call this, good posture. That's actually military posture. That came out after the war. You know, people threw their shoulders back and, okay, for marching, but it's not very rhythmical to allow your body to relax and move. So we use that rhythm posture. So we're going 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. Right. And the other thing, remember from other videos, okay, now we can relate our bottom to our top. So now here we're at that angle, and what we do, if you remember, is the thighs go up and down. So now with this angle here, okay, when we pump, you can feel our back at a slant and our thighs coming up and down. Very important for that to happen, again, so that we have some rhythm. If you're not doing that, just going back and forth, you're missing about 70% of your dancing, and that's unfortunate, okay? So we're here. So now we're going to pump a little bit. So we have our nice angle, 1, 2, 3. And every time we step, that goes up and down. Yes, and people ask me, okay, well, what about hip movement? Don't I do a dig and stuff like that? You have to be careful. If you're doing this dig action, if it tips your spine, that's not good. And most people do too much side movement in their top rocks and they're off balance. The proper way to do that is to stand here. Go ahead, Ashley, we can do it. And put all your weight on one foot like that and shift over to that one. Now also, push your hands down, down. Right one down, left one. Right, left. Now that's the way to do a hip movement because, keep going, Ashley. Boom, boom. See that? Because, see, her hips. Now, her hip is going up and down into her rib cage. Go ahead, pick this hand up. Do it again. Boom. That's it. See that? Hold it on this one. Hold it. Good. See, this is crunching. This one's opening. Now switch. This one crunches. Good. That one crunches. Okay? Do the shoulders also. Go. 1, 2. Go ahead. 3. 1, 2. Now do the shoulders. That's it. Oh, 1. Oops. Let's go again. And 1, 2, 3. Right. So now even the shoulders can go up and down. But the important thing here is the hips are going up and down rather than going out. So our center point is not interrupted. Now, if we put our hips out too much, now we start rocking very bad because now we're constantly off balance. So that remedies that. So, and you can do that. As we're doing basic, there's nothing wrong with moving your rib cage and your shoulders and your hips, as long as they're going up and down and not out to the side. Okay, and as a matter of fact, that is desirable to put in there. But always remember, you have to have your thighs going up and down, 1, 2, 3, to balance out your horizontal movement, which are going back and forth. We also want to have a vertical, which balances that out and gives you a lot of rhythm. There you go. Okay. Now you have a very rhythmical posture and a very rhythmical movement, and that is the biggest enjoyment of doing any dance, especially salsa. Hi again. Okay, so now we want to finish up this little series we're doing with centering, balance, and movement. Okay, so now we got the posture. We talked about the posture. Okay, keeping this front lined up, keeping this back here at that angle. Now let's move with it. How do we move? Now, like we were saying before, when we're doing the basic, when we go back, we just put the foot. When we go forward, we actually propel ourselves forward. Now, the way we propel ourselves forward, if you're just standing here, and this is what most people don't know, they try and go forward by putting a foot out, okay, or they fall down with it. When we propel ourselves, two important elements are to push and fall. There's only a couple ways we can go forward. There's only two, really. If we want to go forward, the only way we can do it is to fall. Okay? If we don't fall, the only other way we can go forward is to push off of the standing foot. And we use both of those plus another in salsa. So to start, when we want to go, we're right here. Okay, would you face me? Now if I want to go forward, before I go forward, I push my knee forward and then my top starts going. That's a good movement. Okay, would you do that with me, Ashley? Okay, so knee and top. See, and then you almost can't. Okay, so you do knee and top. So you get your fall first, and then we push slightly off. So when you're ready to go forward, whether it's a slow or quick, you start putting your knee and your top starts falling with it. Remember how we said that this center and knee stay lined up. So if you do that, your foot didn't go yet, then we push. After we push, then we bring the foot out. So we're here, knee fall, push. Then we take a movement. Okay? So this comes in very useful. Like for example, we always use it. You always move like that. Let's get on the cross body. She's going to go 1, 2, 3, knee, and I should say fall first. The knee is with the fall and then the push, okay? So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, knee, push, da, da. 1, 2, 3, fall, push. 1, 2, 3, knee, push. That's it? Okay, good. So you notice when she's coming forward, it's 1, 2, 3, this knee, and then she pushes and goes forward. Okay? So where'd she go? Okay. So those are two parts. Now there's another a part that is propelling her forward, okay? And actually there's a part coming from the guy. When she comes here's a big mistake which people do a lot. 1, 2. When they go to lead the person, pull her forward, what the lady does is pull against him. This does a really lot of bad things because to pull against, you can't be on your center point. For you, which is usually the guy is bigger, for the lady to pull, she has to lean back, get off her center point, and then she's a ton of bricks. And then she sits down and wonders why he doesn't ask her to dance again, because she was too heavy to dance with. Now, it's the same thing for the guys. The guys do the same thing. I'm not just picking on the ladies, but the guys that yank and pull all over the place. There are proper ways to lead also to indicate to her properly where to go. Here's one of them. Okay, we've talked about this before, but we're going to build on that a little bit. So here, when I want her to go, just stay there for a second. I'm going to bring the hands out. Her hands go with me. Okay? She does not pull. He does not pull on her. He just brings them out here. Okay? Now this was the same thing like we were doing in basic. Remember we did basic? I'm going to stand sideways for a second. Or no, I'm not. When I want her to go backwards, okay? You see I'm going to push her elbows back. Just stay there for a second. Now here's a good exercise to practice for this. We're not going to go anywhere. Right. This is the lead to go backwards. That's the lead to go forward. Now she does not go. Now remember, this is important. Ladies, do not follow when he leads. There's always a delay time. So I put her elbows back. Now she goes. I put her elbows forward. Now she goes. Okay? And remember how we count salsa. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. What about the 4 and the 8? The 4 and the 8 are where we're leading, guys. Okay, so I'm going 5, 6, 7, 8. Now she can step comfortably on 1. What most of the guys do, okay, is they try and go push and go at the same time. And the poor lady's, she's frantic trying to keep up with you. Tell her ahead of time. Be nice to her. She'll dance with you again. That's it. 1, 2, 3, lead. And ladies, don't fight him, okay? No tension, do not resist him. I know a lot of people like to use that. It's a very poor form of dancing, of connection, okay? This is the best form, the best feeling form, okay? 1, 2, 3, lead, 5, 6, 7, follow, 1, exactly. So she has plenty of time. We move that arm. It goes in through her brain. She tells her body what to do more comfortable. And as a matter of fact, guys, we are not supposed to step until we give her the lead, she goes, then we're allowed to go. We are not even supposed to step until after we've noticed that she's picked up what we were trying to indicate. Very important fact for really excellent dancers. 1, 2, 3, lead, then I go. I see if she's going, then I go with her. I see if she's going, then I go with her. This is all your leads, guys, all of them. So now, when we're going forward, we're going to exaggerate that a little bit. 1, 2, 3, and just stay there, Ashley. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Now she knows. First of all, she knows because I just opened up, so she sees a runway, okay? Then all of a sudden, I bring her hands forward. Now she uses her push, her knee, and her fall to go forward, okay? 1, 2, 3, lead, she pushes. Keep stretching her hands out. Boom. Boom. And while she's doing that, she keeps reaching them. Okay? 1, 2, 3, she keeps reaching through the whole thing. She doesn't all of a sudden pull back. So we go and. 1, 2, she keeps reaching. You pulled, don't pull, don't pull. 1, 2, and keep reaching. There we go. Bah. 1, 2, 3. That's it. So now, how do we get connection? This can be confusing too, because we don't want it to be so limp. That's like dancing with her hair. There's absolutely nothing there. So here's how we connect. Connecting has to be very elastic, okay? Now, I can connect with her. Go ahead, Ashley. Reach your arms. Boom. That's it. That's it. Keep reaching them. More, more. Boom. That's it. Right. So she's reaching a whole lot. Now I started pulling on her hands. But the difference is, instead of her pulling backwards, she's reaching forward. So we're both going, our energy's going in the same direction. That's very important, okay? The only thing that's making us connect is I'm moving my energy slightly faster than hers. So I don't knock her off balance because we're going in the same direction. So I go 1, 2, she stretches, right. And she keeps on reaching as I'm pulling, okay? And now we can really fling each other around, and there's a lot of elasticity which absorbs a lot of the shock, which we'll talk about more in depth in a future video. But that's what we do there. So guys, you have the same count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you notice she's going, you can give her a little bit of a connection. Okay, that's a fun connection. Now, the same thing happens if she stretches both arms forward equally, she will go straight. Okay? Now, if she does an underarm turn, say we do an underarm turn, I give the lead, she actually puts that arm through first, not this one. So now to do a turn, 1, 2, 3, she stretches this arm through and it turns her. And we talked about this before in a video. I just indicate and she pushes that arm through. Okay, so now we have 2. In the cross body, she's reached forward. That pulls her body forward, okay? Now in the turn, okay, I didn't reach her forward, underarm, she reached around her body, okay? Now, with that, we're going to do the spot turn. Now, a spot turn is a curve. She's coming in, 1, 2, 3. Now, we're going to go around with a spot turn, or some people call it a back spot turn. She's still going forward, so she has to reach her hands forward. Most of the ladies come and connect on the guy, lean back, and pull on him. It feels terrible, okay? So, here we go. She reaches both hands forward, and we go around quite comfortably. Because another good thing happens. When you keep your elbows in front of your body, you also help balance yourself very well. Okay? We never want to put them back here, except for a split second, and then we come back out for elasticity. But here's the difference. On the cross body, she reached straight ahead and she went straight. On the turn, she sharply reached around her body. Now on the spot turn, we just want to curve. We don't want to spin. So what she does is she reaches her left arm a little bit more than her right, and that will curve her. which makes logical sense. So when she's coming in here, both arms are extended, but she's reaching this left one more, so that's giving her a curving energy. 6, 7. 1, 2, she reaches, the left one goes. Now we can fly around. Again, her energy is going forward, so now I can connect with her because we're going in the same direction, and we can really whirl around a whole lot. So, okay. So, there are some movements, how you propel yourself. Let's see, now let's just put it in order to finish this up. We took it apart to figure out what order we're actually going in. So, if we're doing like our basic movement, okay, like with the cross body, sorry, I actually did it again. First, he will give the indication. The hands will come out, okay? Next, her knee and her chest plate pop forward and start falling, then she pushes. That's the order we use all the time. Okay, I'll do it slowly. 1, 2, she extends, pops her knees, fall, and pushes. Okay, it's hard to say in order, but to say it slowly. 1, 2, 3, reach. Okay, first she reaches, good, all the way out, good. And then now she pushes the knee and the top forward, she starts falling, and now she pushes off that back foot. So once she started falling, now she gives a good push. If we don't do that, then we're just going to fall down, okay? But when we do the push, then we push right into our seat, and that makes our whole frame go forward in one piece. We don't go with one piece or the other. So we have 1, 2, she extends, she falls, and she pushes. 1, 2, she extends, she falls, and she pushes, okay? And that is the order that we do that in, to break that down. So that's a pretty advanced level, but if you practice that, start to understand, you'll see a huge difference in your dancing. You'll be dancing for real.